Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series I'm trying out on this channel called My Collecting Journey. The series where I talk about my journey in collecting things, specifically movie related things such as Blu-rays. But if you guys want to see stuff that is not movie related, then please let me know. I would happily do a video on that. But yes. The main reason I have decided to start this series is because if you saw my last complete Blu-ray collection video, you will know that I said I don't really want to do another one of those types of videos again, where I just go through my entire Blu-ray collection. And the main reason is they take a lot of time to do, and I don't necessarily have the time to always do those videos. Also, have you seen how many Blu-rays I have? I have too many. to go through all of these again in a video would just take forever, and I don't have forever. So I don't particularly want to do that again. But that being said, I still want to talk about Blu-rays, and I still want to talk about movie-related things with you guys. So I thought the best way to do that would be to start just an individual series talking about specific things that I've collected, whether that be movie-related prop replica things, that's if you guys want to see it, or specific Blu-rays that are maybe box sets, anniversary editions, or part of their own specific collector's collection, whether that be, I don't know, the Sony Classics collection, Arrow Videos, I don't know, the HMV Premium Collection, or like the movie I'll be talking about in this first video, part of the Criterion Collection, which very swiftly moves me on to the Criterion Blu-ray I want to talk about in this video, which is the first ever Criterion Blu-ray I think I ever bought a few years back, which is the Royal Tenenbaums. Directed by Wes Anderson, released in 2001, starring Gene Hackman, Danny Glover, Angelica Houston, Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, and Ben Stiller, as well as Gwyneth Paltrow. Almost forgot about her. And to be specific, the spine number on this Criterion is 157. I'm not quite sure how I want to format and structure this series, but I suppose that's something I can work at over time. But I know one thing for sure, I just want to talk about the Blu-ray itself and maybe even the movie, just so you guys know what it's like, and that I can talk to you guys about it in the comments, and what other things you'd like to see, and what other collectible things, Blu-ray related, you might want me to try and get. But yes, this was, I think, the first ever Criterion Blu-ray I ever got. Criterion is a collection I've been wanting to get for some time now, but they are really expensive. So that's why, one, I don't own that many of them in the first place, and two, I only buy them sparingly. I think my initial goal for Criterion worked a little bit the same way I go about collecting vinyl records. I only buy a vinyl of an album that I know I love. I don't see the point in buying a vinyl record of an album that I've either never heard of before or I just think is okay, because that's a waste of a lot of money. If you're buying an album you know you love on a format that is very expensive and is better than a lot of other formats, then you know you're getting your money's worth to an extent. And the same initially applied to Criterion, but now I am more in a mindset of like, if I can afford a Criterion, I will get a movie that I've been wanting to watch for some time now, because I've seen enough Criterions now to know that the brand is almost like a seal of approval. Like, I've yet to watch a bad movie on the Criterion Collection, so to speak. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And having the Royal Tenenbaums be the first one that I bought and watched was a real treat. Because the main reason that I bought the Royal Tenenbaums first is because I've been a fan of Wes Anderson's for quite some time now. Ever since I first watched Moonrise Kingdom, I've pretty much been obsessed with his style and just the way he directs movies. And one of my many things I want to do is to get through his entire filmography. Unfortunately, I've watched more of his more recent movies like Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. But I want to, at some point, get through his entire filmography, which is why I picked this one up, because I'd heard this was one of the better movies in his early film career, along with like Bottle Rocket and Rushmore. And after watching this movie, it definitely is one of the better early Wes Anderson movies I've seen, and it's also a bit of an interesting movie in his career, because with Rushmore and Bottle Rocket, you can kind of tell that is an independent young filmmaker. His style isn't necessarily there yet, it's just a filmmaker doing what he can to get that story out there. The Royal Tenenbaums is the first movie in his career where the style that we know and love now of Wes Anderson is starting to come through. It still feels very safe in terms of its presentation and style, but you can see that unique visual look that we know Wes Anderson for now slowly seeping throughout a lot of this movie, and that's why I think it's a very interesting movie to watch out of Wes Anderson's career, because he's not quite fully developed that over-the-top style yet, but he also hasn't ditched the independent look and feel of his movies that his earlier movies has, especially his first two. But yeah, if you couldn't judge already, I really like this movie. I don't think it's my favourite Wes Anderson movie, but it is still a very good movie nonetheless. The presentation of this Criterion is bloody gorgeous. I love the art on this Criterion, and that goes for pretty much all Criterion Blu-rays. The way they package their movies is exquisite, because they have absolutely beautiful artwork on the case that you might not necessarily see on any other Blu-ray, because it's specifically made for Criterion. I also really like the booklet that comes with this movie. It's quite a monster of a booklet, actually, because it opens up into this map of the house. Yeah, it opens up into a map of all the different rooms that are shown in the movie, as well as those as well. You also get a nice little thing written by Wes Anderson himself, talking about the movie, and it's just a really nice little bonus thing that they do, which is another reason why I've always wanted to, get more Criterions, because they put a lot of effort into not just the look and sound of the movie, but also into the physical presentation you're getting with the movie as well. So whether that be the look of the case, or even what is in the case itself. You also get, if I can get it out of the case, this really chunky booklet that folds out like so, which has a essay about the movie. And it's really interesting. It is really interesting. I have read this once before. Can't exactly remember everything it says, but I have read it once before. You also have like a credits list on this booklet as well. But yes, it's all absolutely fascinating stuff, especially if you're a fan of the movie. I think it's all very fascinating. The special features that this Criterion has are also really interesting. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that I think are taken from the original DVD, but there's also a lot of new stuff for this Criterion as well, like they do with most Criterions. Specifically one thing involving Ben Stiller. I can't remember exactly what that is, but I found that very interesting to watch. But overall though, I really like this movie. Not my favourite Wes Anderson movie at this point in time, but is one that I would happily rewatch again and again. I do think it is one of the more important movies in his career, if that makes sense, specifically because this is that transition point of where his old, not fully established style and his new fully realized style start to blend into one. And I think if you want to watch any Wes Anderson movie and you're starting to get into his work, then I kind of recommend it. I recommend this as a good place to start, because this is where his style is kind of mixed with that not fully established look yet. And I really like that about the movie. So guys, that was the first in the series of my collecting journey. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave some, tips and like what to do in the next one and maybe what to change up in the comments below, because I would happily take constructive criticism from you guys, because I've not really done a video or a series like this before, but it's something that I know I want to do, because I want to talk about Blu-rays that I have without going through every single one of them in a massive long video, because it just takes too long. And I hope you guys understand that as well. For any of you that were fans of the complete Blu-ray collection videos that I did in the past, that is the reason I'm not doing any more, because they just take way too long. But I want to talk about specific Blu-rays that I have that are of importance to an extent. So any constructive criticism on how to improve in the next one, or like what to do and what not to do, would be very happily appreciated. I look forward to continuing this series and hopefully getting a lot more better at doing this, because I don't quite know how to do it at this point in time. But yes, if you enjoyed the video, then give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye!